try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We gotta add a little addendum to the show map today, and shall we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your weekly morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about how crypto has crashed as a couple of very important ETFs are launching. As you will likely already know, there is a Bitcoin and an Ethereum ETF coming out of Hong Kong right now, but there has been another in the Far East that has brought online a Bitcoin ETF as well, and that would be none other than our friends down under Australia. Today, we're going to be talking about the new upcoming Bitcoin ETFs from Australia and Hong Kong, what impact they will have on Bitcoin, and why I think a major rally for Bitcoin is likely to come in the next few weeks, but the next few days may well still be very bearish for Bitcoin. Welcome to the stream. If you guys are new here, my name is Jeb McAfee. I've been working in the cryptocurrency space for going on a decade now, and I absolutely love helping you guys reach for something that I call financial sovereignty. That is a state of having total and complete order over your lives financially, where they are under control, you are the one in charge, and you are setting them on a course for growth. Let's go ahead and read some chat. Drian is in chat. Abraham Lee, Bryn X Motorsports, Joe Bollier, Sir That's Legal is in chat. Crypto Military Vet, Philly Skills 1422 said, morning, Jeb. Volatility on this Monday morning, indeed. Sweet Benabear is in chat. Joel Elbs is in chat, said, love you, brother, from London. Buggin King said, another day, another dip. Sean O'Brien in chat. Dan Crypto Surge said, good morning, Jeb. Play the new video of Michael Saylor. Which one? There's a lot of them. Romulosi Nine Skull said, good morning. As always, God is preparing our way. Trust in him. Good things are on the way. Schmedley B's in chat. Buggin King said, look, we always talk about crypto, but not enough talking about coffee. Today, let's just discuss coffee. There you go. Crypto Mini Bikes in chat as well. Joey Van Englenberg and so many more. Joel Fick is in chat, and Percy said, yo, good morning to all of you. We've got a lot to cover today, but first I want to start out by letting you know about one of our sponsors, which is none other than Vault. If you guys have not already, make sure to go to uphold.com with the link in the description box down below. Make sure to go to the link in the description box down below. Come over here to products and services, go to Vault, and you're going to find an incredible way to self-custody your assets using Vault. Now, the way this works is that it is a wallet where you can access it with two keys. You have to have two keys to access this cold storage wallet. You always are in control of two keys, but should you lose one of them, Uphold has another key that they can give you to access your wallet. It's a genius idea, and it means that if you should lose one of your keys, there is a backup, but control always remains in your hand, which is what we are talking about when we say sovereignty. A synonym for financial sovereignty is financial control. Having control over our finances is how we are able to grow them. So take control of your finances by storing your Bitcoin and XRP in Uphold's Vault today, with the link in the description box down below. Let's go ahead and jump on over to CoinMarketCap. Today, we are watching a corrective movement taking place on Bitcoin. We have dropped down to about $62,000 in change. And out here on the hourly chart for Bitcoin, we have seen a drop below this uptrending level of support, which we had drawn last week. If you'll recall, last week we talked about how there was a bear flag in play. And that bear flag looked something like this. It was pointing at about a $56,000 Bitcoin. And we've been talking about how a corrective movement on Bitcoin was likely to occur. We even discussed how there was a head and shoulders pattern forming right here, which could lead Bitcoin to break down below this uptrending level of support by breaking below a support level at about $63,000. That, of course, has now occurred, and Bitcoin is more than likely on its way to at least $60,000, if not even lower. The question becomes, what happens after that happens? If Bitcoin does drop down below $60,000, where will we go from there? Well, to discuss that question, let's look at CoinMarketCap and take a peek at some of the news going on today. Right now, the Fair and Greed Index on Bitcoin sits at 57, and that does indicate that we are seeing quite a lot more bearish sentiment in the space than we are used to. This does mean that Bitcoin is likely going to be continuing to the downside for a little while as the bears continue to lose some of their strength. But I am doubtful that that will continue forever. I am most confident that within the next couple of weeks or the next couple of months, Bitcoin will turn around and return into a bullish state. But until then, Bitcoin is definitely going to have to see some reversal. So how will that happen? Well, let's jump back on over to the rest of CoinMarketCap and run down the list. Ethereum is currently sitting at $3,139. It is down 5% in the last 24 hours. Binance is down 3% in the last 24 hours. Solana down 5% in the last 24 hours. Dogecoin down 6% in the last 24 hours. Toncoin down 5%. Cardano down 4%. Sheeb is down 6%. Avalanche is down 2.4%. Polkadot down 5%. Tron down 2%. So overall, we are seeing a correction in the altcoins right now. And that corroborates the idea that we are seeing a market-wide drop that is probably not quite over. But that may be coming to a conclusion soon. The picture I want to paint for you is a picture that looks a little bit like this. Bitcoin is likely going to have a little bit more bearishness, potentially even a drop of another several $1,000s down to $55,000. We may bottom out at 60 sooner than that. But at some point, there will be this recovery. And we will see this recovery come in, and it will at least send us back up toward all-time high. It could send us up towards a downtrending level of support like this, downtrending level of resistance like this, and then we reject. Or Bitcoin very well may break through there to the upside. But the reason why I'm confident that after the conclusion of this correction, which seems to be coming in the next couple of weeks, that we'll be seeing a rally, has to do with two pieces of news. Hong Kong is having its ETFs debut tomorrow. If you didn't know, Hong Kong is a more or less a proxy state at this point of the People's Republic communist regime of China, and it is in the process of being reassimilated into China. In 1898, it was put into a 99-year lease to the British Empire. At the time, it was a small trading village, and it was given to the Brits for a 99-year lease. Both parties said that that was as good as forever, direct quote. Well, forever came. That forever was 1997, and the 99-year lease was up, and thus began a 50-year process of Hong Kong reintegrating with the mainland. The issue is, since the 99-year lease was signed, China became a communist state with all kinds of concentration camps out to the west. And if you disagree with China, they will disappear you like they're friends with the Clintons or something. So Hong Kong definitely does not want to become a part of China. The fact of the matter is, it's going to happen. And what's interesting to me here is that in the process, Hong Kong has joined forces with the cryptocurrency space. They are debuting cryptocurrency ETFs. They're going to be reassimilated into China, unfortunately for the democratic people in Hong Kong. But it's likely going to happen. And that means that maybe a few decades from now, China themselves are going to have exchange-traded funds for the cryptocurrency space. Interesting stuff. We're seeing global adoption going on, whether you like it or not, it seems. The cryptocurrency community is eagerly awaiting a significant industry event as Hong Kong is poised to launch spot trading Bitcoin and Ethereum, both Bitcoin and Ethereum exchange-traded funds, on April the 30th. Now, let me explain why this is so important. To do so, we're going to have to go to Google Maps, one of my favorite places to go on these videos, because I am a fan of geography and geopolitics. Hong Kong exists, go ahead and show you right here. Hong Kong exists in an area of the world known as the South China Sea. It's right here near Shenzhen and Guangzhou, which are two of the largest industrial manufacturing centers on planet Earth. This waterway right here is at all times chock full of shipping containers. If you have bought something in the last year, chances are something that you bought in the last year came from this area on my screen. From Guangzhou, Shenzhen, Macau, Hong Kong. They don't do a lot of manufacturing, but they do work in technological development quite a lot, especially in cryptocurrency. If you consumed anything on a screen, it's probably come from an area in Hong Kong. And as you can see, Hong Kong and Macau sit right here in some of the most important waterways on planet Earth. A huge amount of manufacturing and shipping takes place in this area. And so for Hong Kong to be bringing online Bitcoin and Ethereum exchange-traded funds, that sends a message to everyone in their vicinity, to Taiwan, to the Philippines, to Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, Myanmar, otherwise known as Burma, Malaysia, Singapore, big one down there, and Australia, which we'll be talking about in a moment. But needless to say, due to geography and history and the fact that this is one of the most powerful nation states on planet Earth for its size, this is a big deal. It's a very big deal. And it is going to end up remaining a big deal. So we're going to see how this goes tomorrow, but it is no doubt going to be a very bullish event for Bitcoin. Now, going back to the charts themselves, when we saw the Bitcoin exchange-traded funds launch on Bitcoin, they actually immediately led to a crash on Bitcoin. Now, we were at a bull market high. We were up at $48,000, but we immediately saw a drop. So just because the exchange-traded fund is launching tomorrow doesn't mean for sure that we're going to see a rally right away. But as we start getting data, volume data, about those Hong Kong ETFs, that could end up being a very bullish story indeed that could lead Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets to the upside. But it's not just Bitcoin that's getting its own ETF. Australia, as I mentioned a moment ago, looks like it's going to be doing the exact same thing. Australia is preparing to introduce its first Bitcoin exchange-traded fund by the end of 2024, according to Bloomberg. Firms such as Monochrome Asset Management and BetaShares are awaiting approval from the Australian Securities Exchange, ASX, and CBOE Australia. Unnamed sources cited by Bloomberg suggest that applications from VanEck Australia and BetaShares are likely to be approved, with Monochrome Asset Management also pursuing authorization for its ETF on similar CBOE Australia exchanges. Do you remember how I said that these ETFs were unstoppable? They are. And part of the reason that they're unstoppable is such. Here's something to keep in mind. The FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration. I'm sure you've heard of them. If the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, approves an airplane, an aircraft, a jumbo jet, whatever you may be, for commercial use, because whenever you build a new plane, it has to be approved by the FAA, which is why you've got the 737-900,000 in service right now. The FAA approved the 737 a long time ago, like 70 years ago almost. You've flown on a 737 more than likely. One of Southwest Airlines' most common jets. Very, very useful for intra, as in inside the continental travel. If you're traveling around the United States, you probably traveled on a 737. They approved that aircraft about 70 years ago. And so what Boeing does is they just add a 100 to it. 737-100, 737-200, 737-300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800. They don't have to get new approval on that. But they did have approval on the main plane. When the FAA approves an aircraft, every other aviation administration on planet Earth, unless you reside in Iran, North Korea, China, or Russia, if you live in any nation on planet Earth except for those four nations, their aviation administrations basically just go ahead and say, FAA says okay, so it's okay. They're more thorough than we are. They've got more resources than we do. They're the United States of America. Everybody over there is like wrapping themselves in freaking bubble wrap nowadays because God forbid anybody ever gets hurt because they're being foolish and learn their lesson the hard way, right? So the rest of the world says, all right, FAA, you say it's safe. It must be safe. And so they approve it too. And securities markets around the world act much the same way. As soon as the United States approves something, pretty much everybody else does too. Because if the United States, the leader of the global economy, says it's okay, then I guess it's okay. Why would we want to be left behind by the United States of America? No, we're not going to do that. We'll allow it as well. Now, the interesting thing is Bitcoin was not approved in the United States for a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund first. It was approved in a few other nations first. And we're starting to see Ethereum exchange-traded funds approved in other nations first. What seems to occur in aircraft approval from regulatory bodies and here in the securities market is that a few nations will approve something, and then the United States will catch wind of it and realize, okay, this is big enough that we ought to pay attention to it, and then they'll approve it, and then everybody else, the other 90% that didn't run in front of the United States of America, go ahead and approve it. It is my prediction, therefore, that within the next 24 months, a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund will be available in almost every single free, modern, democratic, capitalistic nation on planet Earth. It is also my prediction that this will not be the only Ethereum ETF approved outside of the United States. It's my prediction that at least 3 other nations in the next 2 years will approve Ethereum exchange-traded funds besides just Hong Kong. And at some point within the next 5 years, probably sometime much sooner, to be very honest, the Ethereum exchange-traded fund will be approved in the United States, which will lead to the rest of the world also adopting an Ethereum exchange-traded fund. The dominoes are being lined up, and they are currently starting to fall for Bitcoin and Ethereum exchange-traded funds to become a part of the global economy, institutionalized in the global securities market, which means that if you're following the financial sovereignty way of getting out of debt, living on a budget, paying off your mortgage, investing for the long run, first into retirement, then for wealth generation, then Bitcoin and Ethereum, especially Bitcoin right now, but in 5 years, Ethereum too, are looking like excellent candidates to include in long-term investment. I think that everyone who is trying to build wealth ought to have a 401k with a match and max that out. They ought to max out their Roth IRA if they're at all able to. And they ought to consider putting up to, not more than, but up to 10% of their retirement into Bitcoin and maybe even some into Ethereum. From there, it is also a great idea to hold Bitcoin and Ethereum for the long run, even if you weren't planning on holding it 20, 30, 40 years to retirement. Even if you're going to hold it for 10 years. I think they are great, great picks for longer term investments. So, that's my 2 cents, but let's read a little bit of chat, and then we'll get back into some technical analysis. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. Very excited for y'all to be here. We've got over 500 people watching live, so let's go ahead and smash that like button. Let's see if we can get up to 250 likes. Thank you guys so very much. All right, let's read some more chat. Hey, Jeb, you mentioned concerns about ADA. Would you still buy it now for a 1 to 2 year hold? I am getting to be more and more risk averse every single day, to be quite honest with you. Because the fact of the matter is you can still build a lot of wealth in Bitcoin and a lot of wealth in Ethereum. And I love the altcoins, and there's quite a lot of wealth that you can build there. That being said, there are I do highly recommend everyone to start out with following our plan of investing in Bitcoin and Ethereum before they buy anything else. If you're trying to invest in things that are other than that, and you have not bought Bitcoin and Ethereum, then I think you're making a dear mistake. That being said, ADA is, depending on the day, because it goes up and down, right, either our third or our fourth largest holding. And I am quite excited about it. That being said, the last 1.5 to 2 years, I've been saying the exact same thing. Cardano really needs to prove itself. It really needs to prove itself, because I have not seen enough development out of it in the last 2 years to warrant saying that I think it's going to go to $10 right now. I think it can if the adoption picks up, but at the end of the day, I think it's a good hold. I think it'll rally. I think it'll grow. I don't think you're going to lose a lot of money holding it if you hold it for 1 to 2 years, but I am starting to wonder if the risk-to-reward ratio is as exactly what we want it to be. Crypto Maxi said, good morning, Jeb. I'm a little bit late this morning. Hope all is well. God bless everyone, and God bless this dip. Amen. Thank you. All right. Kong ETFs will start in Chinese markets, which is very green today, but Japan market is crashing. Right. Jeb, IBIT or MicroStrategy? IBIT all the way. Please do not buy single stocks unless you really know what you're doing, even if it's MicroStrategy. Let me repeat that. Please do not buy single stocks unless you really know what you're doing. When you buy Bitcoin, you're buying the entire freaking market, which means that it's eventually going to go up. The cryptocurrency industry is not going to die, friends. It'll have corrections, it'll have crashes, it'll even have bear markets, but it's not going to disappear into the night. MicroStrategy, on the other hand, is an organization that is ran by a very intelligent man who I have met, who I think is awesome. We have an interview with him on the channel. After our interview, we sat there and talked for 10 or 15 minutes about such things as, Bitcoin. So very excited about Michael Saylor and what he's doing. But that being said, that is still a point of vulnerability. What if something should happen to him, right? I love MicroStrategy, but it's a little bit, it's very much beholden to Bitcoin in the first place. So I'm not saying don't buy MicroStrategy. I am saying if you're only going to buy one, buy IBIT or Bitcoin, just straight up Bitcoin. You can buy the ETF, but you can also just buy Bitcoin itself. Either way, if you're going to put it into a retirement account, then obviously you're going to probably want to do that with the ETF, which is totally fine. All right, let's continue right along here, guys. Before we do, I do want to let you know that today's stream is brought to you in part by NordVPN. If you have not already signed up for NordVPN, you should, because NordVPN is going to shroud your IP address while you browse online, keeping you safe and secure and invisible, which is important because the last thing you want are data brokers, hackers, and thieves from getting your personal information so they can, at best, give you spam calls, spam texts, robocalls, all that. At worst, hack you, steal your money, dox you. You want to keep that information safe, so sign up for nordvpn.com/Jeb today and keep it on. All right, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about Bitcoin. We've talked about the fundamental side of things. Let's talk about the technical now. Bitcoin is currently sitting at $62,500, and it has been moving into the correction out of this ascending trading channel here. We are very much likely to see that continue. We obviously, on the daily chart, have a sell signal, and that sell signal does have take profits down here between $59,000 and as low as $54,000. LUX ALGO is very rarely wrong. I say that, and it was just recently wrong, not long ago, but of the last 9 times we've seen green signals, buy signals, only 2 of them have been inaccurate. We normally see great degrees of rally take place on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space whenever we see buy signals, and strong corrections whenever we see sell signals. And there is a sell signal right now, and it does have our take profit down here. At the same time, if we look at the CryptoJab oscillator, which was built in partnership between me and LUX ALGO themselves, you can see that there is a great degree of bearishness that is currently going on. You can see the bullish strength indicator right here has dropped dramatically, and the bearish strength has grown dramatically, meaning that we have seen a great degree of bullish strength leave, great degree of bearish strength enter into the space, and there is still bearish momentum that is going on right now. We are still seeing that there is momentum that the bears are able to pick up, and they're able to grow their strength. That does lead us to the conclusion that we might not be done here. If we look at our technical analysis as well, just looking at the charts, you can see that there was a spinning top right here when we came down to the uptrending level of support on this trading channel. That uptrending level of support and that spinning top were not strong enough to keep Bitcoin up, and on Friday we began a drop to the downside here. We have thus seen 4 red days in a row, with a couple of them being spinning top formations, indicating an opportunity for the market to rally, but alas, it did not occur. We have continued to see a drop on Bitcoin despite all of the bulls' best efforts, and I have every reason to believe that that is probably going to continue. If we look at the Bollinger Bands, you can also see that the Bollinger Bands here are sitting right at about $60,000, and I think at this point we probably will go back down to test them. A lot of times the market will bounce around between the bands and the center line, which is a 20 simple moving average. And so right now we are dropping from the 20 simple moving average down here towards the 60 level, and so I think that we're going to probably continue moving right down there towards the bottom band. If we drop down towards $60,000, then that is a place where we could double bottom and bounce, and those ETFs going online could end up being the bullish catalyst that we need to turn the market around and start going into a new rally. On the other hand, it does also present an opportunity for Bitcoin to break support and to start moving farther to the downside. So we must keep all of that in mind as we watch the markets closely here today. I think us moving towards $60,000 is highly likely. So how do we best take advantage of this? I like to look at the fundamental analysis and the technical analysis, and then I like to bring it all together into a cohesive strategy so that you guys know how to actually make money here. The way that you build wealth is by following the 6 laws of money. I've told you them time and time again. The first one is to be financially sovereign. The second one is to live on less than you make. The third one is to have a written plan for your money. That's called a budget. The fourth is to get out of debt. The fifth is to save and invest to build wealth. And the sixth is to be generous and give freely and joyfully. When you do those things, you will be successful with money 100% of the time, guaranteed. It is not a debate. It is not a question. It is not an opinion. It is a simple fact of nature. You do those 6 things proportional to your starting position and the amount of tragedy that you go through in your life, you will succeed with money. Now, to succeed with money in this case, we want to employ a couple of those laws. The part where we make a written plan, and the part where we invest. Our written plan for investment in the cryptocurrency space looks as follows. We want to be dollar cost averaging, which is the most proven way to make money in a market over time. It's not trading. It's not using leverage. You can make money doing those things, but that's not the most proven way of doing it. The most proven way of building wealth in a market is to consistently, on a fixed schedule, invest in said market over time when you reasonably believe that that market will appreciate in value over time. The way we do this is through something called dollar cost averaging, which means that we are investing in the market on a weekly basis. Here's your formula. I, if you're single, we, if we're married, we, because I'm married, will invest X amount, so let's say $100, every Friday, so that's once a week on Friday. We will invest $100 every Friday and then we define the portfolio. We define where that money is going. This is our written plan for investment. All right, this is how you invest into a retirement account also. On our written plan for retirement, it looks like this. We will invest 15% of our household income into the S&P 500, first through our 401k, then through our IRA until we get up to the 15% on Fidelity. That's your written plan for retirement investing, by the way. After you've done that, then we move on to investing in the cryptocurrency market for wealth generation. And that plan is as follows. We will invest $100, $200, $5,000, $25,000, $1 billion a week every Friday. $100 every Friday in blank on blank. In Bitcoin, and as such, we'll put 25% into that. In Ethereum, and as such, we'll put 20% of that. Into Solana, we'll put 10%. Cardano, 10%. And we break down the percentages. What's the percentage that you're going to put into each one of those cryptocurrencies? On, and then you say the cryptocurrency exchange. I personally think crypto.com is a great place. You can find links for that down below. But that's your written plan for investment. That is the first way that you are going to build wealth in the cryptocurrency space, is you're going to have a written plan for investment on a regular basis, and then you're going to hold it, and then you'll have a written plan for how we're going to divest it. Then what we say for the divestment portion is reaches $100,000, $80,000, $90,000, whatever it is. When Bitcoin reaches $90,000, we will, instead of invest, we will sell, instead of a dollar amount, it's a percentage, 1% of the Bitcoin every week, every Friday, on crypto.com, wherever it is. And then that's your divestment strategy. You may need to watch that a second time. But the point is, you have an investment strategy, you have a divestment strategy, and you follow it to a T. And you have a plan for a reason, because we know that the way we succeed with money is by following the 6 laws of money. And one of the laws of money is to have a written plan for your money. Your written plan for what you do with your money every month, that's called a budget. Your written plan for how you invest, that's called an investment plan. When we have that written plan in place and we follow it to the T and we are consistent over time, that is how you get compounding interest. Compound interest, make no mistake, is not just a facet of markets. It is also a facet of your own behavior while working in said markets. So what do we do here? On Bitcoin, we want to be following that exact same plan if we're still investing in Bitcoin. I personally have a huge portion of our net worth in Bitcoin, so I'm working on investing in other things and balancing things out. So I'm not currently investing in Bitcoin because I already have a lot of it. I've been accumulating it for 7 years, guys. You may not be in that same position, though, and that's totally fine. You may say, I want to accumulate Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, and Solana for this bull market, whatever it may be. Maybe Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, and Polkadot, whatever your coins are. So we will invest, or I will invest if you're not married, we will invest $100. You got to figure out, that is a derivative of your budget. How much are you able to invest after you're paying into retirement accounts, after you're paying off debt, including your mortgage? Then you're investing for wealth generation and things like the crypto markets. Maybe you can afford $100 a month after you're doing all that. After all your needs are met, after you're being generous, after you are investing for retirement, after you are investing in paying off debt, the mortgage debt, etc. Then you invest into the crypto space. Maybe it's $100. We will invest $100 every Friday into Bitcoin. Except here's the thing. I want you to put about 15% of the portfolio, of the investment every week, not into the actual market, but into cash. You can change the number. It can be 5%, it can be 20%, but I wouldn't keep it above, I wouldn't put it above 25%. I wouldn't put it below 5%. So somewhere in that range, between 5 and 25%, put that into cash. And then as the market drops lower, then you get to say, all right, we have cash. We're going to deploy it. We'll increase the amount of investment that we put in every week out of that cash account that we've been putting aside. And that's where you may be right now. You may be at the point right now where you're saying, all right, the market's low enough. We're down like 20% from all-time high, but 18% from all-time high. You may say, instead of putting that money into the cash account, I'm going to actually invest it in the market, but I'm not going to drain the cash account yet. You might have $20,000 sitting on the sidelines. And if it drops below 60, that's where you may say, all right, we're going to deploy the cash. Again, this is not for retirement accounts. For retirement accounts, just put 100% of the money into the market. Don't store any of it in the money market. Put it all into the market right away. But when you're investing for wealth generation, which you should be doing after you invest for retirement, then from there, what you do is you invest that cash when the market drops. The people that made a lot of money in the markets in 2008 were the people that had money on the side. They had cash because cash is king. This is not a debate. This is a silly argument that we embark on the internet. Oh, man, we need to not have any cash. Just deploy everything. We need to just take out as much debt as we can. Just deploy everything. How are you building wealth when you're making the banker rich? We're not. It's not the way it works. We're not building wealth when we're making the banker rich, and we're not building wealth when we don't have money. Cash. Franklins in a pile so that when the market crashes, you get to put money in there. Please understand that there is a very, very, very important way that there's a lot of importance to the consistency about all of this. Tell me down below in the chat. Would you like to see all of these different strategies organized into one course? I'm working on something right now. I'm very excited for it. Love to show you guys. Let me know what you think. All right. We're going to read a little bit of chat, so let's do it. Let's see. Petrodollar rules. Bad boys, bad boys. What you going to do? Mike Lowry's in chat. This will definitely be another sell in May, then go away year. Possibly. Possibly. Election year, no sale in May, and walk away. Tonight at 9 p.m. EST will be huge bullishness. Maybe. Shadrach Frost said, folks, please hit that like button please hit that like button now. It only takes a second and truly supports this channel. Let's show Jeb some love and support and appreciation for all he brings to us every day. Thank you, friends. Thank you, Shadrach Frost. I really do appreciate that. I do also want to let you guys know, if you didn't know already, that my wife has launched her very own coaching business. So for any of you guys that want to get started learning about different tools like this, then I want you to go and check out financial coaching with my wife, Sarah McAfee, with the link in the description box down below. I also do financial coaching. If you are interested, I'd love to sit down with you guys. My rate's $250 an hour. Sarah is starting, so her rate is $100 an hour. If you're interested in signing up for financial coaching with either one of us, feel free to with the links in the description box down below. You guys already know my story, a little bit about my wife. Before we got married, she was in college living on $1,200 a month. She managed to save $10,000 to buy a camper for her and our son Malachi, who I later adopted, of course. She managed to save $10,000 to buy a camper, a home for them, because you want to make sure they had a home, on $1,200 a month, while taking care of a baby that was on formula, diapers, and wipes. For any of you who are parents, and any of you who know the first thing about money, you can probably understand how crazy of a story that is. It's absolutely incredible. Very, very impressed with my wife. So make sure to check her out with the link in the description box down below. You can see her page over here. These are some things that she wrote. She says she doesn't want you guys to have to be slaves to oppressive bosses and miss your kids' soccer game and everything. She wants you to be able to go and spend time with them, live life and have fun. So make sure to check that out. Very excited that she has started that. Good morning, Jeb. Good morning, Faiz. Still supporting Blowfin? Yes, Blowfin is in the description box down below. Let's see. We use Queen Elizabeth's over here, soon to be King Charles's. Right. For the dollars. That's right. All right. Now, let's take a little bit more of a look at the coin market cap over here. Solana is down at $135, which is very interesting. Big drop going on there. Definitely looking forward to the rally coming back in here, but I think we're going to be just fine. I think that we're going to have a big rally coming into the cryptocurrency space before long. And when we do, Solana is going to moonshot once again. I do think that Solana will go well beyond its previous all-time high in this bull market, but it's just going to take time. The most important thing that we can do, guys, is we can continue to build our systems and strategies for investment and continue to do our research on this market. And that is how we are going to succeed. All right. Avalanche is down 10% in the last 7 days. Tron has actually been rallying, which is interesting. Internet Computer is currently sitting here. Yeah. So, again, as I mentioned earlier, we want to be looking out for Australia's ETFs and Hong Kong's ETFs. The biggest one, of course, being Hong Kong, because that will be coming live tomorrow. So you'll be seeing us talk about some of that tomorrow. All Hong Kong ETFs account for 0.6% of the U.S. ETF market. So keep that in mind. It's not an absolutely massive market, but it is definitely a market that everybody's eyeing. And we'll see what happens. I think that is going to end up being a very bullish thing for cryptocurrency as a whole. Cool. All right. Let's read a little bit more chat. Christina Orozco said, congratulations, Sarah. I know, it's very exciting. Tristan Allen said, really? Yes, really. She is so excited to be able to sit down with you guys and go over the finances and everything. Very, very excited for her. She just wants to help. She has such a burning passion on her heart to help you guys. She knows what we're doing, and you know, she's a big part of it. You know, it's through all my conversations with her that we've, you know, the Lord has shown us, but also through our conversations that we've even been able to put together the principles of financial sovereignty. So she's been integral in that. She's quite familiar with it. So definitely a great place to go if you guys are looking for any kind of coaching on your finances. Make sure to check the link in the description box down below. Makes who is here for the technology and who is here to gamble, right? That's a crazy story with Sarah, and she is doing so well for herself. I'm happy for her. Crypto Surg said, yes, Sarah is awesome. She's got a, she'll probably tell you guys more in coaching, but she's got an absolutely wild testimony. I'm not going to get into it publicly here, but it's, whew. She's got, I've told her so many times, she needs to do she needs to have she needs to write a book. I told her this before we were ever married, knowing her backstory. She needs to write a book. I mean, I told her the other day, I was like, your backstory is like the backstory of like a superhero or something. It's just crazy. Like I've never met anybody in my life. I've never met anybody in my life with a history as crazy as hers. And so it gives her a very unique and compassionate perspective on life. This is super cool as a family. Yeah, I know. When's Sarah face reveal? Well, Sarah's face is actually on the 1 hour financial coaching over there. So I'm not going to reveal it on the channel yet, but it is public. So you can see a picture of her. You just got to go check out her coaching page. There's a picture of us on a yacht in Tampa. And so you'll see her there. That's a picture she chose to be on there. I happened to be in the picture. I was very flattered. She didn't just picked a Peter Parker picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Parker picked a peck of pickled peppers. How many pickled peppers did Peter Parker pick? Okay, let me try that again. She didn't just pick a picture of herself. She also picked a picture that I was in. There we go. I said it. So if you want to see that picture, go check it out. Link in the description box down below. The Knights would not allow us to mention crypto. What Knights would not allow you to mention crypto? Which Knights? It's weird. That's weird. All right, I'm going to hang out with you guys here in chat for just a minute before we wrap it out, but I do want to let you know that today's stream is brought to you in part by Crypto.com. Make sure to check out their latest brand film called Inevitable. Absolutely awesome. For all of you hard-driving people out there, Crypto.com is the place to go. You can go to Crypto.com today and begin your investment in the cryptocurrency space with their recurring buy tool. And when you watch this video, you'll know what Crypto.com is all about. For all of you who have that fire in your belly and say, I've had it, my life changes starting today, then go to Crypto.com. It's a great exchange for all of you that feel that way. All right. Super cool as a family. Yes, absolutely. Very excited. All right, let's read a little bit more chat, and then we're going to wrap it out here on time at 10:45. Got a lot of work we're doing behind the scenes. Knights of Columbus investors. Knights of Columbus. Never heard of the Knights of Columbus. I've heard of the Knights of Knee. The Knights of Columbus. Catholic fraternal organization. We are Catholic men putting our faith in action to defend, serve, and protect families. Investing 75 million hours and $875 million to charitable. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Supreme Knight, the organization named after the Italian. Huh. All right. Huh. Look at that. All over the place. Interesting. Won't let you talk about crypto. Okay. Interesting. Losing hope in ADA, Jeb? Not so much that I'm losing hope in ADA. It's more that my hope, if you will, for the markets is in consistent effort over time and in the principles that I'm teaching. The principles I'm teaching are far more important than any one cryptocurrency, even more important than Bitcoin. They're more important than any one market, even more important than the United States stock market. They're more important than any one currency, even more important than the dollar, because they are timeless. They are woven into the fabric of the universe. You think I'm joking. I'm dead serious. They are wisdom. Wisdom was there at creation. It is by wisdom that the Lord hath founded the earth. By understanding hath he established the heavens, and by his understanding the depths are broken up and the clouds drop down the dew, the Bible says. They are the foundational aspects of financial wisdom, and they are not mine. I simply am a teacher. I am a megaphone for untold riches and wisdom and truth that has been around since the dawn of mankind. And if we should follow them, we should be successful. If we choose to turn our nose up at the laws of money, and we choose not to follow the financial sovereignty way, we will not succeed. It's that simple. Financial sovereignty way is simply a plan. The laws of money are built into the fabric of the universe. We've got to live a life that is in obedience to them, and we will succeed. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's stream. Make sure to check out our sponsors, and also make sure to check out Sarah and her new financial coaching with the link in the description box down below. She's been helping people with finances for a long time. This is not her first rodeo in all of this. There have been plenty of people that have asked her to give for her advice and everything. So it's a match made in heaven. This is something she's always been very passionate about, very interested in, and very good at. So make sure to check her out. She's really looking forward to meeting with you guys. We're going to have to wrap it out. Before I go, though, guys, I do want to let you all know that all success in life begins with a personal and daily walk with the Lord Jesus Christ. And before we go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.